Good morning, everybody. Happy to be with you. You know that I like the mornings reading with you guys. Let me first check how many of you were reading with me last time. 33. Wonderful, wonderful. And do you remember that? So this old man, I think called Fauchelevent, was under his cart. He had a cart and a horse. He was blocked. He was under his cart, and a lot of people around him. Mr. Madeleine was there, and also Javert. And so here, the writer is showing a little bit what Javert feels, how he is. And so Javert, the last thing he said on the last page from last week was that he said, you need a lot of strength, or a man with a lot of strength, pour faire la chose de lever une voiture comme cela sur son dos. So he says you need a man with a lot of strength to do the thing, to lift a cart like that on his back. Because maybe you remember also that Mr. Madeleine said, I'm going to pay someone a lot of money. He was going to pay in golden louis, the one who would take away the cart. Okay. So then, puis, regardant fixement Monsieur Madeleine, il poursuivit en appuyant sur chacun des mots qu'il prononçait. So then, still Javert, the policeman, looking at Mr. Madeleine fixedly, fixement, means fixedly, or you could also say staring at Madeleine. He went on. Poursuivre means you follow up what you're saying. So he went on while he was stressing every word that he pronounced. Appuyer sur is to insist on or to stress. Monsieur Madeleine, je n'ai jamais connu qu'un seul homme capable de faire ce que vous demandez là. So Javert says, Mr. Madeleine, I have never, or in English you would say ever, known que but one single man capable of doing what you ask there. And the word only, I think you remember, is the ne que. That means only. So I've only known one man who could do that, who could do what you asked. Madeleine tressaillit. So Madeleine flinched or trembled. Javert ajouta avec un air d'indifférence, mais sans quitter des yeux Madeleine. So Javert added with, in French you would say an air of indifference. I think in English you would simply say he added indifferently, but without leaving Madeleine, or without, quit leaving, but maybe we would say in English, taking his eyes off Madeleine. Quitter des yeux means taking his eyes off Madeleine. C'était un forçat. He was a galley slave. He was a convict. Ah, dit Madeleine. Ah, said Madeleine. I hope you understand what he's saying. If you don't, ask me. Du bagne de Toulon. So he was a convict from the prison of Toulon. Madeleine devint pâle. So Mr. Madeleine became pale. Cependant, la charrette continuait à s'enfoncer lentement. So in the meantime, the cart continued to sink down slowly. Le père Fauchelevent râlait et hurlait. So Father Fauchelevent, well, you know, that's the man under the cart. And I told you already that in those days, very often they said father, although he's not a priest. So Father Fauchelevent râlait, moaned and screamed. J'étouffe. Hein? Étouffer is choking. I'm choking. Ça me brise les côtes. It's breaking my ribs. Un cric. A jack screw. Remember what it is? The jack screw is this tool you use to, yes, to pull up a car when you want to change the tire. Quelque chose. Something. Ah! Madeleine regarda autour de lui. So, Mr. Madeleine looked around him. Il n'y a donc personne qui veuille gagner 20 louis et sauver la vie à ce pauvre vieux. He says, so, hein, donc so, there isn't anybody who wants to earn 20 golden louis, hein, it's the money, and save the life of this poor old man. Aucun des assistants ne remua. So not any of the assistants, but maybe here, I shouldn't say assistants, it's more like the people around, the people standing around, moved. Hein? Remuer is to move. Javert reprit. Javert said again. And so repris comes from the verb reprendre. Hein? He took up again. He talked again. Je n'ai jamais connu qu'un homme qui put remplacer un cric. I have never known but one man, I've known only one man who could replace a jack screw. C'était ce forçat. It was this galley slave, this convict. Ah, voilà que ça m'écrase, cria le vieillard. Ah, there, voilà, hein, there it is, that it's crushing me, screamed the old man, because the cart is crushing his chest. Madeleine levait la tête. So Madeleine lifted up his head, rencontra l'œil de faucon de Javert, toujours attaché sur lui. So he met the eye of the faucon, I think the hawk, we could say, a hawk, falcon, but I would say the hawk of Javert, still attached on him. So his eye was still attached on him, was meaning he was still looking Madeleine in the eye. Regarda les paysans immobiles. He looked at the peasants immobile, not moving and not having the intention to move, et sourit tristement, and smiled sadly. Puis, sans dire une parole, il tomba à genoux. So then, without saying a word, he fell to his knees, and avant même que la foule eût le temps de jeter un cri, il était sous la voiture. And even before, même avant, even before that the crowd eut le temps, had the time to jeter un cri, like to utter a cry, he was under the cart. Il y eut un affreux moment d'attente et de silence. So there was a terrible moment of waiting and of silence. On vit Madeleine presque à plat ventre, sous ce poids effrayant, essayer 2 fois en vain de rapprocher ses coudes de ses genoux. So one saw Madeleine almost flat on his stomach, hein, à plat ventre, under the frightening weight, the weight of the cart, trying 2 times in vain to, and rapprocher is like to bring together, to approach, to bring together his elbows with his knees. So this is the way he tries to, well, he's flat, he tries to bring together elbows and knees, like to lift up the cart with his back. On lui cria, they screamed, they yelled at him. Père Madeleine, Father Madeleine, retirez-vous de là. Get away from there, pull yourself out from there. Le vieux Fauchelevent lui-même lui dit, So the old man, Fauchelevent, himself said to him, Monsieur Madeleine, allez-vous-en. Mr. Madeleine, go away. C'est qu'il faut que je meure, voyez-vous. It is that il faut que, we've seen that a few times, it's necessary that I die, you see? Like, I have to die. Laissez-moi, leave me alone. Vous allez vous faire écraser aussi. So, you are going, faire écraser, to be crushed also. So, even the guy under the cart says, don't do it, go away. Madeleine ne répondit pas. So Madeleine did not answer. She was under the cart. Okay, let's see. This is the next page. Page 63. Les assistants haletaient. So the people around, the assistants, but that's not a good word. It was the people standing around. Haletaient, gasped. Les roues avaient continué de s'enfoncer. The wheels had continued to sink down. Et il était déjà devenu presque impossible que Madeleine sortît de dessous la voiture. And it had already become, because in French, to become, devenir, is with être, but in English, it's with to have, of course. There is no auxiliary être in English. So it had already become almost impossible that Madeleine got out from underneath the car, or the cart. Tout à coup, on vit l'énorme masse s'ébranler. All at once, they saw, or one saw, but I think, yes, we can translate on here by they saw, the enormous mass, the enormous body or the enormous bulk moving, like s'ébranler means to shake a little bit. La charrette se soulevait lentement. The cart se soulevait, went up slowly. Les roues sortaient à demi de l'ornière. So the wheels got out half, they got out half, a little bit, from the ornière. You know, that's the gap that wheels make in the mud. So from the gap, on entendit une voix étouffée qui criait. So they heard a muffled voice who screamed, Dépêchez-vous, hurry up, aidez, help. It was Madeleine. No, first in English, in French, sorry. C'était Madeleine qui venait de faire un dernier effort. So it was Madeleine who had just, well, this construction, venir de, we've seen already a few times. He had just made a last effort. My God, what a man, what a man. Ils se précipitèrent. Se précipiter means to come hurrying. So they hurried, came close. Le dévouement d'un seul avait donné de la force et du courage à tous. So the devotion of one single person had given the strength and the courage to all. That's true. So Madeleine, strong man, his devotion, his determination to get this man from under the cart had given the strength to all of them. La charrette fut enlevée par 20 bras. The cart was enlevé, taken away by 20 arms. Le vieux Fauchelevent était sauvé. The old Fauchelevent was saved. Madeleine se releva. So Mr. Madeleine stood up again. That's se relever. Il était blême. So he was white. Could also mean livid. I would say he was white. Quoique ruisselant de sueur. Although streaming of sweat. So his face was totally white, but it was streaming of sweat. Ses amis étaient déchirés et couverts de boue. So his clothes were déchirés, torn apart, and covered in mud. Tous pleuraient. They all cried. Le vieillard lui baisait les genoux et l'appelait le bon Dieu. So the old man kissed him his knees, kissed the knees of Madeleine, and called him the good Lord. Lui, il avait sur le visage je ne sais quelle expression de souffrance heureuse et céleste, et il fixait son œil tranquille sur Javert qui le regardait toujours. Ah, this is a longer sentence, but we will get through it. So he himself, so Madeleine, he had on his face, I don't know which expression of happy and heavenly suffering, and he fixait son œil. He also, like he stared at, but he fixed his eye calmly on Javert, who looked still at him. And the word toujours, it's a bit funny because it means always, but it also means still. And here it means still. And now we have the last part of today. So, Fauchelevent s'était démis la rotule dans sa chute. So, Fauchelevent had démis comes from démettre. That's like here, I would translate it by dislocated his rotule kneecap in the fall. Le père Madeleine le fit transporter dans une infirmerie qu'il avait établie pour ses ouvriers dans le bâtiment même de sa fabrique. So Father Madeleine had him transported or transferred in a infirmerie, some kind of hospital that he had established for his workmen in the building itself of his factory, et qui était desservi par 2 sœurs de charité, and which was, let's say, serviced by 2 charity sisters. Here, sister meaning religious. Le lendemain matin, le vieillard trouva un billet de 1000 francs sur sa table de nuit avec ce mot de la main du père Madeleine. So, the next morning, matin is morning, lendemain, the following morning, the old man found a banknote of 1,000 francs, French francs, on his night table with this word from the hand of Father Madeleine. Je vous achète votre charrette et votre cheval. I buy from you your cart and your horse. La charrette était brisée et le cheval était mort. The cart was broken and the horse was dead. Fauchelevent guérit, mais son genou resta ankylosé. So Fauchelevent, he got cured, he got better, but his knee stayed, can we say for ankylosé, can we say stiff? Couldn't move it very well. Monsieur Madeleine, par les recommandations des sœurs et de son curé, fit placer le bonhomme comme jardinier dans un couvent de femmes du quartier Saint-Antoine à Paris. So Mr. Madeleine, by the recommendations of the sisters and by his priest, had the man placed, the man is le bonhomme, he had the man placed as a gardener in a convent for women, a women's convent, in the area or in the neighborhood Saint-Antoine in Paris. So Madeleine, he was a good man. Quelque temps après, Monsieur Madeleine fut nommé maire. Little time after that, Mr. Madeleine was named mayor, So he was now the mayor of the city. La première fois que Javert vit Monsieur Madeleine revêtu de l'écharpe qui lui donnait toute l'autorité sur la ville, il éprouva cette sorte de frémissement qu'éprouverait un dogue qui flairerait un loup sous les habits de son maître. It's a long sentence, but it's a very important one. Almost finished, so please hang on. So the first time that Javert saw Mr. Madeleine dressed in the scarf, and you know when you become a mayor, well, you have this scarf, so that's what it means. So dressed with this scarf, which gave him all the authority on the city, he felt, éprouver means to feel, he felt this kind of frémissement, of shiver, of thrill that would feel a dog, some kind of a dog, like a dog, who would sniff a wolf under the clothes of his master. So I hope you understood this last part. So Javert, he thinks there's something fishy, something which he should know. Well, that was it for today. Thank you for reading with me. Hope you're going on. I hope you hang on, and I hope to meet you again, to see you again next week. See you. Bye-bye.